Oh, okay. A little bit of a long night tonight. I think those first three innings took like almost 2 hours, didn't they? Yeah, we got off to a slow start there on the mound. And then, Blake Money came in and gave us a good inning, and then he started to struggle there. And I thought the key to the game really was Mikhail Hilliard. Seems early in the season here, we've been getting a great relief performance out of one guy in some games where our starting pitching hasn't been real good, and they've taken control of the game. And it was so nice to see Mikhail Hilliard right himself after having a rough outing the other day. I think on Friday, he was really throwing the ball well as he can, and really dominated the game there. And then I thought the guys coming out of the bullpen really did a good job. I think Fontenot threw the ball good after he walked the first two batters. Aaron George was tremendous. And then, Hasty, I thought, threw the ball really well too. So outside of the rough first inning and then the third inning, we pitched well. I thought our defense was really tremendous. And I thought we hit the ball a lot better than what we had to show for it, even though we had 10 runs and 10 hits. I mean, we hit a lot of balls really hard, either right at them or they made some really tremendous plays against us. Otherwise, I think it would have been a game where we probably would have scored 15 runs or so and probably had 15 or more hits. But, I thought we swung the bats pretty well. So all in all, good game for us, and time to turn our attention to UNO on the road tomorrow.
Coach David from Rivals, just talk about the presence of Trey Morgan at the plate tonight. It just seems like even his outs are loud right now. Is he just seeing everything and hitting the ball well?
Yeah, I haven't seen the box score, so I don't know what his numbers were. What are they, David, for the game?
He finished 3 for 5, and he drove in 4. So
yeah,
with 2 triples.
Yeah, well,
or with a triple. Sorry.
When you give a guy a 3-0 green light, that's the way you want him to swing. You want him to get his money's worth. He hit that triple there to drive in those last 2 runs. But it's not just right now. He's been seeing the ball good since he walked on this campus. I every time I do an interview and people ask me about Trey Morgan, I can't remember any more superlatives to say about the kid. He's just a really outstanding ball player in every way, shape, or form. And tonight he was, he was very clutch. Came through with some big at bats, as did, I know, Cade Doty did. What did Doty do? Bill Frankish just handed me a box, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. And those two guys, between the two of them, drove in 7 of our 10 runs. So obviously, both of them had big nights for us, and they carried the team tonight, really.
I guess it's me, Coach. What did you like about Doty being at third? Why did you decide to?
What didn't I like? He was outstanding. I thought I was actually going to make that move, Mike, a week ago, and then he got hurt that night. He didn't know it, but after that game, I was going to talk to him and tell him that he was going to come in on Sunday morning. And we're going to move him to third base. But of course, that conversation never took place because he got hurt, celebrating Drew Bianco's home run there in that freak injury, and everything got put on hold. So I didn't have the conversation with him until, let's see, what's today, Tuesday? Till yesterday morning. And I texted him and told him to come and see me, and sat him down and told him what I wanted to do. And he was all for it, and, anything for the team attitude. And I just thought it was the right thing to do. He's played a lot of third base in his life before he came to LSU. When he did what I call the circuit, with all the best players in high school around the country, he traveled around the country, primarily played third base. And then I moved him to second here because initially he was struggling defensively at third, and I didn't want anything to affect his hitting. And I thought second base was a much more easy position to play. It wasn't as taxing, skills-wise. But he's older now. He's more confident. He's more physical, and he's ready to be able to handle third base. And he took ground balls yesterday and today. Before the game, he played a lot of balls off the bat in batting practice, including he handled a lot of smashes and took a good pregame infield. He made a couple plays, I think, in the game, and his arm was outstanding. So I think he did a good job, and I think Jordan Thompson did a really good job at short. And I think, Zach Arnold, probably second base is the best position for him, So I like the way that infield looked today, especially
His
with anytime Trey Morgan's at first base, it looks good.
Kid's pretty special.
What
His experience play into that, just kind of the nerves as well at third.
For
Yeah, for
Cade?
Cade. Yeah,
What do you mean?
not having nerves, or kind of knowing
Yeah,
what to expect.
that's what I'm saying. Third base is such a difficult position to play, and I think being a year older and having even though we didn't play a full season last year, he's just a year older. He played in the summer. He's confident. He's the leader of our offensive team, really. 3-hole hitter. I mean, he's a very confident, self-assured kid, and he knows he can play. He was a really good third baseman when he played in high school and during the summers. So I think he'll handle it fine. And this looks like we finally found the right combination, and I think this is going to be the way to go forward with.
Paul, you had also talked about yesterday about wanting to get Mikhail and Devin, get them going a little bit. So how encouraging was what you saw out of them tonight, especially Mikhail going 3 1/3 scoreless?
Well, yeah, Mikhail was really good tonight. I mean, really outstanding. And I actually went in and watched one half inning that he pitched in on TV because I really wanted to see the movement on his pitches. And man, his fastball was really moving, cutting. And then his curveball had such a nice tight spin on it. It looked like the Mikhail Hilliard of old. And I think he even hit 90, 91 miles an hour a couple of times. So he looked really good. I mean, he could have continued, but I wanted to shut him down at 40 pitches so that we'd have him available this weekend for some in relief. And had he gone another inning, say through 15 more pitches and got up to 55 pitches, it'd been questionable whether or not he could have pitched again this week. And I wanted to get Fontenot out there, and I had told Fontenot I wanted to bring him in earlier in the game, where he didn't feel like, one batter, one pitch was going to, determine the outcome of the game like it does when you pitch in the 9th inning. And I just wanted him to get out there and let it rip a little bit more. And we end up having a close game. He ends up walking the first 2 batters he faces, so the tying runs at the plate, even though it was the 7th inning instead of the 9th inning. But I think it was still a confidence builder for him, to get those last 2 outs, the big strikeout with runners on second and third and 1 out, and then the strikeout to end the inning. I think it was a big confidence builder for him. So we're going to need those 2 guys certainly as we go forward. William Weathers, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, sir. You mentioned Mikhail. The time that he came into the game, he kind of helped restore some order because it was kind of getting hairy there. He held you to tell him the 4-2, and then your offense came back. So just talking about the time he came in, it was very important. And thereafter, he kind of settled things down for you.
We've had some great starting pitching this year. Especially on the weekends. Most of the starts over the first 3 weekends on the weekend from Jaden and Landon, and all of Landon's starts have been great, and 2 out of 3 starts from Jaden and AJ have been great. A couple of the midweek starts haven't been so great, and we've had to have somebody come in and take control of the game. And I know Javen Coleman did it one time for us, I think in relief of AJ Lavis. I think Blake Money did it one time. Now Mikhail did it. That's what you got to do sometimes to be able to win a game. It doesn't always go according to script. So, as a manager of the team, you sit with your pitching coach and you map it out. If everything goes according to plan, this is how we're going to manage the pitching for the night. Okay, what happens if, everything goes kaput right out of the gate? Then what? So you always hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And I expected Blake Money to come in and be able to give us 3 innings in that situation. He gave us 1 great inning, and then they got on to him a little bit there. And he's going to have to continue to develop his off-speed pitch to get him off his fastball a little bit. And that's what happened is he couldn't get his breaking pitch over, and they just kept, sitting on his fastball. And then he got a little bit wild with his fastball, started to get fatigued there in that 3rd inning, his 2nd inning of work. And then McHale came in and got us a big out with the bases loaded and settled in and pitched 3 great innings for us. So McHale was the MVP of the game tonight. You know, if he hadn't done what he did, like you said, William, it could have been really hairy, but he got control of the game, allowed our guys to start swinging the bats, and, you know, we got enough runs to win the game.
With Jordan Thompson now at shortstop, you'd said during preseason practice he'd been a little bit inconsistent. Has he shown you more consistency to make you feel confident putting him at that position now?
I thought Wilson, that he really was starting to improve a great deal at third base. You know, I think Trey Morgan saved him, you know, a few errors, and that helped his confidence. But he became a little bit more sure-handed at third base, and you know, shortstop's his more natural position. He's played that his whole life. And I just see his confidence growing the more he's played. And, you know, he hasn't, you know, been perfect, you know, who is, but I feel like he's improved enough that it's worth taking a good look at him there. But, you know, we still have Collier Cranford. We still have Drew Bianco. If Jordan falters, you know, we have other options there. But at least now I feel comfortable with third base with Cade there, and at second base with Zach Arnold there. And I feel confident that Jordan will do the job, and we're going to give him every opportunity to do the job. I thought he played really outstanding tonight, defensively especially. So hopefully he'll continue doing it. And, you know, kids are going to make errors. Nobody's perfect. You know, as long as he's, you know, making the errors aggressively, you know, he, like that last play, he charged that ball very confidently. And that's what I want to see. What concerns me is when he hangs back and doesn't, you know, attack the ball, and he's not confident in the way he's going after it. That's when I get concerned. But tonight he was very aggressive and looked like he wanted the ball hit to him. Okay. Anybody else?
Coach, just one quick
Hey,
one.
Matt.
Yeah, I just the pass balls tonight, was that communication issue? It looked like one of the last ones. It was a cross up type deal.
The one with McHale.
Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to be a breaking ball, and it was a fastball because the way the cat Wyeth reacted.
It was a cross up. McHale was having trouble seeing the signal. Where the way Jake was given the signal, he said there was like a shadow, and he just didn't see the fingers correctly. So yeah, it was Jake was Alan called a breaking ball, and Jake gave a breaking ball signal, but McHale didn't see the breaking ball signal. So he threw it
is that just inexperience on Jake, like the way he gives signs, or what?
There's no excuse for it, really. If McHale doesn't know the sign, he's got to step off and call the catcher out and talk to him. In a critical situation like that with the bases loaded, there can't be any miscommunication at all. And, you know, McHale's an experienced player. He should know better, you know, instead of throwing something that he's not sure of the signal, he's got to, you know, it's a correctable thing. And
yeah,
we should have known in advance, you know, especially with an experienced pitcher. And, but, you know, it's something that Jacob has to be aware of as well, you know, and maybe we need to paint their fingernails or something to make sure that they can see the signal a little bit better. But yeah, that could have been a very critical mistake during the course of the game, obviously. But we were able to overcome it. So chalk it up to a learning experience.
Anything wacky for tomorrow night?
Nothing wacky.
I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, and then we find out about it. You know,
Wacky?
Yeah, nothing wacky. No plans. Yeah.
Okay. See y'all tomorrow.
Sure.
All right, y'all can start with questions for Cade.
Hey, Kate. So, you know, obviously after a week off there with that injury, I mean, just how comforting was it to kind of go out there and, you know, blast a home run on your very first at bat, and just kind of how comfortable did you feel in your return?
Yeah, honestly, I felt really good out there. A lot of credit to our pitchers, though. They kept us in the game. Obviously, we started a little slow, but I mean, it felt great to be back out there and just competing with the team.
When did Paul kind of approach you about making that move over to third, and just kind of how do you think you kind of adapted to being at third for the first time this, I guess.
Yeah, we had talked about it earlier in the week, and we decided that was going to be the best move for the future of our team. So, I'm down to do whatever to help the team win, and I'm just glad I could play pretty good over there and get the job done.
Cade, we obviously haven't gotten to talk to you since the shoulder injury. Can you take us through what happened and what that felt like?
Yeah, it was just kind of a freak thing. My shoulder got hit the wrong way, and previously had surgery on it in high school. So that's why we were so precautious on it. And just a freak thing that I was able to, come back, and I feel good out there. So, that's pretty much it.
Coach Mainieri said you'd had experience at third base. Obviously, you hadn't played much of it here. When was the last time you'd really played third base on a regular basis?
The summer after my junior year, I played with this tournament ball team, and I was primarily the third baseman. And I think, that's helped me and kept me versatile. So I'm able to play second and third base. So that's probably when I played there the most.
Coach Mainieri also said that, he thinks a big part of just your improvement as a whole is just your confidence level from last year to this year. I mean, just how much more comfortable are you from maybe your freshman year defensively in particular?
Yeah, I feel really good out there. Me and Coach Mainieri worked a lot over this fall and the scrimmages before the spring started. So I think we have a good game plan, and I've been able to, help the team out defensively, and that's a huge part. Obviously, defense is a huge part of the game. So any way I could help out, I'm just glad I could do that.
Cade, also Gavin Dugas, even though it wasn't, huge play in the game, and he had that, I guess, was RBI double into the gap, and he's now got a 6-game hitting streak. How would you describe how well he's playing right now?
I think he's, if not the hottest hitter, one of the hottest hitters in our lineup right now. He's seeing the ball really well. We really need him to step up, and that's what he's been doing the past couple of games. So it's really encouraging to see him, play the way he's playing right now. And hopefully he can continue the success and just ultimately, help our team win any way that we can.
And real quick, could you also just describe kind of what the differences are in playing third and second base?
I think the big thing is just waiting back on balls. Like second base, you have a lot of time, and third base is more of a reaction position. So I think just having the preparation I did yesterday and today, obviously I can still improve, but I feel pretty comfortable over there, and just hopefully I can make the routine plays and maybe some great ones.
Is that all for Cade? Thank you.
Thanks.
Y'all can start with questions for Mikhail.
Hey, Mikhail. I noticed that on social media you cut the dreads. Do you think that had anything to do with the performance today?
Yeah, I'm very superstitious, and I felt like I wasn't pitching how I was in the fall. Confidence wasn't there, so I felt the need to switch something up, change my flow, and I felt pretty good out there today. So I went into the game with that same mindset and felt like it definitely carried over into the game.
Yeah, you threw 40 pitches today, and 34 of them were for strikes. Just how comfortable and how confident were you out there? Is it pretty much when your breaking ball is working that you just feel like you can get anybody out?
Yeah, that the confidence was at the most high. It's been at the most high. It was at the most high than it's ever been, and I felt like all I needed to do was just go out there and throw strikes, fill up the zone, and let my defense work, and that's what happened.
When did you actually decide to cut the dreads, and when did you end up doing it?
So for the past 3 times that I went and got an actual haircut, I was thinking about it, but I couldn't pull the trigger. So yesterday when I got my fade, I was like, you know what, it's time to cut it. I got to switch something up, and it was probably the best decision I've made in a little minute. So.
And it also seemed like this was, at least statistically, the best outing you've had since probably the 2019 SEC tournament. So how did it feel just actually getting out there and pitching the way that you have in the past, but just haven't done in a while?
You don't know how great it felt to be out there and actually like be on the upside of things. When it comes to baseball, it means so much to me. So being able to get those outs and pick up my fellow teammate whenever he gets in the jam, it was electric feeling.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Mainieri also mentioned that, for these midweek games, it feels like a different pitcher is coming in relief and really, putting up some stellar numbers for you guys to keep you in some of these midweek games. Just kind of talk about your bullpen and just, how it, it really seems like there's 1 or 2 different guys that can come in and, give you guys some great relief innings.
Honestly, I feel like there's not enough I can say about the guys in the bullpen. We're some real dogs whenever it comes to pitching, and we have the most confidence when we get on the mound, especially whenever it comes to getting in tough situations. We know that anybody out of the bullpen, whoever coach picks, they're gonna come in and pick up our slack. We have a lot of sharp shooters out there.
Mikhail, you said a minute ago you don't know how great it felt to be out there and be on the upside of things. What had it felt like the last 2 years? I mean, last year you had the lower forearm strain, I believe, that tightness that was, really, and then a shortened season. So what was it kind of been like the last 2 years for you?
Just dealing with injury and baseball being such a mental sport, it takes a toll on you, especially whenever you're throwing your bullpens. One day you could feel like you're on top of the world, and then next you're iffy. You don't want to overdo things, and you're not focused on throwing your pitches, and instead you're worried about your own health. So being able to go out there and actually fill up the strike zone without having to worry about my health, my own health, it felt great.
Were there any sort of injuries that you were dealing with back in 2019 as well, or was that just the 2020 season?
I don't think so. It was pretty much what you just stated, the forearm soreness that got me. But other than that, nothing else really. Just I needed to go out there and get that off my chest. So. That's it.
Is that all for Mikhail? Thank you very much.
Thank you.